Hey guys, and welcome to my February reading wrap up. My name is Cody Rance. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future uploads, and hit the like button if you guys like reading wrap ups, because I am not sure if I want to keep doing them because they are pretty time consuming, because I do tend to read a lot of books a month, and I'm wondering if I should do more reading vlogs instead of doing reading wrap ups and just film me reading more books instead of wrap-ups, because I think that would be more enjoyable. I did film 2 reading vlogs for you guys, one where I'm just doing like bookish things and one where I'm actually just solely reading series and trying to complete series. I think you're gonna get those videos before this video, but if you guys would still like to have monthly wrap-ups, please let me know in the comments, because I'm not sure if I really want to continue doing them because they're not getting that many views. But if you guys still want them, let me know. I did read 11 books in February, which is actually shocking because I was in a horrendous book slump for the first 2 weeks of February. I only read 2 books. Right here, I read 2 books the first 2 weeks of February. All the other books I read were the second half of February. And I blame one book in particular. If you know these edges, you know who it is. That book put me in the biggest book slump ever. But I'm going to go in order of the books that I read. We'll get to her when we get to her. Okay, but I want to start with the first book I actually completed in February. And this is actually a book that my friend Amanda, I know, really wants to hear my thoughts and opinions on, because it's one of her favorite books of all time, and it is now one of my favorite books of all time. And to be so for real with you guys, 2 of the books that I read in February are 2 of her 5-star reads that she had me read, and to be blunt, they're 2 of the best books I've ever read, and I will literally read anything that she tells me to. If she tells me to read her grocery list, I will read her grocery list, because she is always correct when a book is 5 stars. The first book, if you know the back of this, you know what book I'm about to talk about. And it is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. Now, I think that's how you say her name. If that's wrong, I'm so sorry, ma'am. This is one of the best books I've ever read. Now, this book feels like reading a journal of a young girl. So if that's something that you don't feel like you would connect to because it is young adult, this book probably isn't for you. And that's okay. This book really spoke to me because it felt like this girl, the main female character of this book, her name is Autumn, it felt like she was my friend. I felt like I was going through life with her, and it was really heartbreaking. Okay, so it's about this girl named Autumn and her next door neighbor / best friend, Finny. So it basically reads like her journal. In the first chapter of this book, you know an event happens. You don't know how you got there until the very end, but you know something's going to happen. I'm not going to spoil it. Don't worry. This is a spoiler-free review page. This is one of the saddest books I've ever read. I remember sending voice memos to Amanda, scream crying, because I finished this book. Did I finish this book, or did this book finish me? It finished me. This book hurt me. You feel like you are going through Autumn's life with her, like you're her shadow. And it is heartbreaking to see all the things that she goes through. She is a strong queen, but she goes through some severe trauma. And it is really, really sad. And honestly, if you learn anything from this book, is don't trust no bitch. This book is obviously a 5-star book, and you should definitely read it. The next book we're going to talk about is actually the beginning of a series, and I have now completed this series. I finished the 3rd book in March, and we'll talk about it then. But I did read 2 of the books in this series. So the first book is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. Now, this is a very fun book. This book follows Amelia and Noah. Amelia is a pop star who goes by the name Ray Rose, and Noah is the owner of a pie shop. So basically, Amelia is having a hard time with her pop star life and decides to basically just like run away from her life in a broken down car. Don't know why she would use a broken down car instead of a nicer car. I think she tries to explain it, and I thought it was stupid, but I was like, okay, whatever. For the plot, I guess. And she ends up having her car break down in Noah's town called Rome, Kentucky. And Noah basically lets her stay with him while her car is getting fixed, because apparently it's going to take 2 weeks for her car to get fixed. It's that broken. Cause sure, for the plot, right? And so they hang out, they fall in love. You get to meet Noah's sisters, who are going to be the main characters for other books in the series. It's very cute. I thought it was just a fun little palette cleanser. That's part of the reason I picked it up. And I also had a copy of this book already on my Kindle from when I bought it on sale. I actually liked it so much that I bought a physical copy to annotate. And I also had the other two books. So I was like, I don't want to have the other two books and not have this one. I didn't annotate a lot, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was a really cute book, and it's just a fun little palette cleanser if you're into a small town romance. I rated When in Rome 4 stars. Had a great time. Now we're going to talk about probably one of my biggest disappointments of the year, and also probably one of my most anticipated releases, which makes me so sad. And this is also the reason I was in a book slump for like 2 weeks. Blame Rebecca Yarros and Onyx Storm. I wasn't in a book slump because this book was a masterpiece. No, I was in a book slump because this book was bad. I am probably one of the very few people who hated this. I did not enjoy this book at all. Don't let the tabs fool you. There are a lot of tabs because this book's crazy. This book was a slog. It was so hard to get through. So I reread the first and second book in this series called the Empyrean series, which is Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I reread those. So I was ready for Onyx Storm when it came out. This book came out January 21st, right? I read the first 50 pages the day it came out. I was having a lot of trouble getting into the book, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm just not in the mood for this. And I'm like, but how would I not be in the mood for Daddy Zayden? That makes absolutely no sense. Still kept trying to read it. I would read like a chapter a day and like put the book down. I just had no interest. It took me 2 weeks to get through 50% of the book. It was just a struggle bus. And then I read literally the last 50% of the book in one sitting. This book just sucked. I'm so sorry. I forced myself to read the last 50%. I was like, I'm not allowed to do anything else till I finish this book. I sat in my room, literally on this couch, and read the last 50% in one sitting, and it was hard. It was probably one of the hardest reads I've ever had in my life. It was stressful. The first 50% literally didn't even need to be in there. I think part of the reason that she made it this long is for the sprayed edges, because it did not need to be this long, Rebecca. I was so annoyed with how messy the ending was, with all the random POVs for no reason. All the jumping around gave me freaking whiplash. And then that ending felt like you ended the book in the middle of a sentence. It felt very sloppy and like you were on a deadline and you just wanted to get the book over with and get your check. And obviously, I did not rate this high. I gave it 2 stars. While I was reading Onyx Storm, I also started The Crash by Frida McFadden. This book took me almost 2 weeks to read because I was in a book slump because of Onyx Storm. I was struggling to get through this, so it made it hard for me to get through The Crash. So this book took me 11 days to read because of my book slump. The Crash is Frida McFadden's new release, and I don't think I really was able to give this book a better rating than I did because I was just in a book slump. And I honestly blame my experience with The Crash on Onyx Storm. And I don't know if it's just because of the book slump or if the book is just bad, because I don't think the book was as bad as it felt like. It probably could have been rated higher. I might have to reread it to see. This book follows Tegan, who's like 8 months pregnant. She got pregnant after a one-night stand with the guy. The guy ends up being like super rich and having a whole family and tries to like buy her silence on him being the dad. Oh, if you're wondering why I don't have annotations, it's because I read it on my Kindle, by the way. She ends up not taking the money from the guy because she realized that he raped her, minus the G. So she decides to not take the money, and she decides she's just gonna go stay with her brother and figure out what she wants to do. On her way to go stay with her brother, she gets in a car crash, The Crash, and a mysterious man comes to help her get out of her car and is gonna take her somewhere. She's like, okay, can you take me to the hospital? Because she has like a bunch of injuries from her accident. And he ends up taking her to his house and into his basement where his wife and him keep her for a while. And they basically want to keep her baby. It's very creepy and strange. I didn't really vibe with the book. I think I was interested in the beginning, like the first 100 pages. I was like, okay, this sounds really interesting. Then it really lost me in the middle because it became kind of repetitive and I got a little bored. And then at the end, I was just kind of meh with the ending. And I feel like Frida McFadden has a very particular formula with her books, and it's just gotten kind of boring to me. And so I don't think I really enjoyed this as much as I could have. I don't know if it's just because I wasn't really vibing with the book because of the slump or if the book was bad. I did rate it a 3.75 because I do think the idea of the book is very good, and I did enjoy the beginning and like more towards the end. It's just the middle wasn't my favorite, and I do think the ending could have been better if a couple of things were changed. But yeah, this is The Crash. I probably would still recommend reading it because you might enjoy it more than I did because I again was in a book slump. But yeah, that's The Crash. And the greatest part about after my book slump is I read 2 5-star books in a row after I finished The Crash, which is amazing. So let's talk about my first 5-star that I had in February. And it is Ali Hazelwood's new book, Deep End. I tabbed this the F up. I love this book so much. I literally bought a copy for one of my friends to read because I wanted her to read it. I was like, you need to read this. This is for you. Enjoy. And I bought her like a copy like this where it has the sprayed edges. It is so good. I absolutely love this book by Ali Hazelwood, and I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. I ate it up. I enjoyed it so much, and I do not care if you did not like it. I loved it. So the two main characters are Scarlett and Lucas. Scarlett is a competitive diver and Lucas is a competitive swimmer, and he's actually an Olympian, and it's really, really cute how they start meeting, and I really enjoyed that. They are very cute. They actually meet because Lucas's ex-girlfriend Penn is like on the diving team with Scarlett. Scarlett and Lucas both have particular things they like in like the bedroom, and Penn knows this about both of them, and even though she's broken up with Lucas, she still wants him to like have somebody and be happy. So she introduces Scarlett and Lucas together and like has them start talking, and basically it's like, you guys like the same things in the bedroom, maybe you guys should hook up. And so they do, and it's really fun. I had a great time. They are such a cute little couple. There's also a big plot with Scarlett and like some work she's doing that's like sciencey. I am not the biggest science person, so I didn't really understand that, but that's because I didn't care about that. I was into the romance, not the science. But that's a very big Ali Hazelwood thing. She loves doing like STEM romances. I think that's what it's called, where they're like all of her female a lot of Ali, oh my god, why can't I talk? A lot of the characters in Ali Hazelwood books have some sort of science thing going on with their life, either with their job or school or something, and that is no different in this book. Scarlett and Lucas are also trying to become doctors, so it follows Ali Hazelwood's formula of always having our characters have like some sort of science-y thing going on. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm really tired and it's like 2 a.m. while I'm filming this, so if I don't make any sense, that is why. But it is a very good book. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars because of the vibes, and I could definitely see myself rereading this book because I did love it so much. And I do have another copy of it that's a special edition. So I would recommend reading this book. And if you didn't like it as much as I did, that's cool. That's fine. I know a lot of people didn't like that the Penn character was in this book as much. I didn't mind her. I thought she was fine. And if you didn't like her, that's your prerogative. I liked her. I didn't mind Penn being around. It was fun. And it actually made the story more enjoyable. So if you didn't like it, cool. Wasn't my experience. I enjoyed it. But yeah, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. 5 stars. Really recommend. The next book I read is the second book that my friend Amanda told me to read. This has become my favorite book. And I know I say that every single month. I'm like, this is my new favorite book. Legitimately, this book changed how I rate books. I have not had a 5 star since reading this book. It has been over a month. I have not had another 5-star, and I've read over 10 books. I have not had another 5-star. It has changed how I rate books. It was that phenomenal. I feel like I'm never going to have that feeling again. It's that bad, guys. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I did annotate this copy, as you can tell. This book follows Vianne and Isabel during World War II in France, and they're both dealing with nightmarish scenarios. It is very traumatic. It is very sad. It is very inspiring. It is one of the best pieces of literature I've ever read. I have never felt so connected to two characters in my entire life. I felt every single emotion you can feel while reading. When I was reading the last chapter of this book, I was sobbing so hard that I was sitting in my bed with the book open and I go, I can't see. I want to read, but I can't see. Oh my God, I saw a quote. It said, "My Nightingale, I got you home." I just want to hug it. It was so sad. But yeah, 5 stars. So obviously after reading that book, I needed a palate cleanser. I needed a fun little goofy romance. So I read the second When in Rome book called Practice Makes Perfect. So this book follows Annie, who's Noah Walker's sister from When in Rome. And this is Will Griffin, who is Ray Rose's bodyguard. So Amelia, her stage name, Ray Rose, that's the bodyguard for her. I hope that makes sense. But they have a cute little romance. Annie is a virgin and needs help with dating, and Will volunteers to help her learn how to date, and it's a fun time. I had a great time. I really love the When in Rome series. As you can see, I had some thoughts and feelings while reading the book. It was very, very cute. I don't think this book was extraordinary. I don't think I'll really ever think about it again. It was fun while I read it, which is why I just gave it a 3-star. The rest of the books that I read for the month are all manga, so bear with me. I finally finished the last book in the Alice in Borderland series. I really enjoyed Alice in Borderland. And actually, if you watch season 2 of Alice in Borderland on Netflix, this is the end of season 2. Like, it is exactly pretty much the same except for like a little bit at the end. It's pretty similar to the show. It doesn't really explain anything about like the Joker, like, and really like what Borderland is. I gave this book a 4-star because I'm mad that I didn't get to find out really any answers. So I'm really excited for season 3 on Netflix because maybe they'll actually answer shit instead of leaving it out like this book did. Because I really want to know what the frick is going on. The last book I read is this omnibus of Attack on Titan, which has volumes 7, 8, and 9 in it. And I read this pretty much in like a day or two. I think it was like all in like 2 days. Yeah, I read all these books in like 2 days. For all 3 in this one omnibus, the average rating was 3.75. Volume 7, I gave 4 stars to. Volume 8, I gave 3.5 stars to. Volume 9, I gave 4 stars to. I don't really remember which manga had what thing in it, which is kind of a problem, but they all kind of blend together for me. But I do remember learning about a secret from the wall. We kind of learned a secret about the Titans in the last volume. I remember that. And we also learned who the female Titan was, which I kind of predicted who it was, but it was really good. I had a fun time reading these books. I'm excited to read volume 10, hopefully in March, but I have just been so busy, but hopefully I can read at least 1 or 2 more volumes this month in March, but we'll see. I did enjoy these books. That is all of the books that I read in February. I'm so proud of me for filming this video because I've been putting it off and I finally did it. Yay me, procrastination has been defeated. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this reading wrap up. Again, I'm so sorry that it is late and I will try to be better about posting these. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye bye.